I'm Byrne, CEO of a company called Digital Minds, and we set up just over a year ago. I suppose the cloud computing buzz has really peaked, but we've worked in the space for a few years, myself and the other founders in the company. And we set up really to address that while hype is high, business awareness is high, the appetite is quite high for cloud computing as well, but it brings a whole new set of challenges for IT, and the expertise isn't necessarily there. So we're a software provider focused on trying to bridge the gap between businesses and actually taking advantage of cloud computing, because it can really bring some benefits, in terms of cost saving, in terms of flexibility of how they deliver services and the ability to focus on their core. So we set the company up, I suppose, from having talked to a number of companies that were looking for expertise in cloud computing, wanted to take advantage of it, but just didn't really know how. Cloud computing really is a new delivery model for IT. Traditionally, IT was housed within the enterprise. You buy it once, and every 3 or 4 years you upgrade it. What cloud computing allows you to do is access it on demand, so as much or as little as you need, and just pay for what you use, which is a completely new model of how IT is delivered and paid for. If you look at traditional IT and traditional IT setups and expertise over the last 20 years and how senior management interact with it, all those challenges still exist when you move to cloud computing, but in a different way. And companies don't have the expertise to do that when data moves outside their firewall, or when their traditional SLAs now require a slightly different way of managing. Even from a budgeting and forecasting point of view, cloud computing, because it's pay for what you use, is much more difficult to budget than spending a lot of capital and depreciating it over 3 years and having operating costs or having maintenance agreements. So what we do is we provide a management platform which shows companies, sysadmins, IT managers and CFOs primarily, their cost, allows them forecast and meter their cost, allows them meter their resource allocation. In terms of opportunities within ICT or cloud computing, now is a fantastic time for startups or SMEs or IT companies. If you look at cloud computing is a new delivery model, but IT is the same. Users still need applications, they still need storage, security and compliance and legal requirements are still there, uptime and SLA requirements are still there, but it's a whole new set of challenges when you move to the cloud delivery model. So if you just look at what traditional IT has done for the last 20 years, and then move that to the cloud, I think a set of opportunities just present themselves of problems that have to be fixed. If they're not done by traditional enterprise vendors, they'll be done by startups. Innovation is always important, but it's probably defining what innovation means is key. Is it innovative to set up in a different geography than your competitors? I think it is. Can you innovate in service delivery, so you deliver a higher service, or you price it in a different way? Absolutely. We're primarily, I suppose, a software company, so we see ourselves as having a product. So if we don't innovate there and keep pace with what the market wants and what our competitors are doing and where the market is going in the next few years, ultimately we and other companies in the space wouldn't be as successful. From a cloud computing point of view, why Ireland is a hotbed is, from a data center point of view, which is really the base level of cloud computing, because cloud computing is outsourced IT. Data centers are the key for delivering that, and Ireland has a temperate climate, so data center cost of operation is lower than in climates where it's very hot and the heating and power are more expensive. And also, you look geographically, we're well connected from a networking point of view. We're English speaking, and we're pretty close to Europe and the US. Microsoft and Goodbody did a report that said cloud computing in Ireland could be worth 9.6 billion euros, I think, by 2014, and 8,000 jobs. It's difficult to look at a high-level report and say, well, that's definitely what it's going to be. But I think if you look at that and break it down into the areas of cloud computing, data centers, professional services, software, managed services, and then through startups, large IT providers in Ireland and multinationals coming in, it's a huge opportunity. And if we can, and the government seems to be, with their new program for government, seems to be behind cloud computing. So if we can actually take those kind of high-level reports and break them down into a set of actions in each area, I think it could be a huge thing. It's the next revolution in IT. So if Ireland is at the forefront of it, then great.